Okay, holy fuck, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? Let me check the okay, are we fine? Do we have audio? Yes. Let me also see a little bit of internet. Kind of working fine, yeah. So let me get more comfortable. Well, there shouldn't be anything else that I need to do, right? I am pretty sure. Well, aside from okay. Let me transition to here. We are already in this place. So let me make this I think it was kind of useful, so let me activate this. Let me have my shot over here. Oh wow, shot. This over here. The list itself over here. Overlying this. Okay, there it is. I shouldn't be lacking anything else, right? Hello. So well, now I think it is really time for me to do it. Hello everybody, once again, we are all of us congregated another night, another blissful night. We find ourselves here, all of us being in this place for the sake of being here. So welcome every single one. Welcome dear lurkers, dear bot watchers, dear bot, dear Saxter, dear myself. Welcome, basically. So far, I hope I didn't forget anything. I hope let me see. I have this feeling of forgetting something, but in this case I also kind of know that I literally have no necessity of feeling like that. In the other hand, so to speak, but well, no, yeah, I think I am not forgetting anything so far. So let me get comfortable here. Let me once again, just in case, check bitrate. Everything should be fine, right? Even more now that I downgrade. Oh, okay, we will have another break in some 20 seconds, or well, it also takes like 10 more seconds to really start it, so calculate it 30 seconds or so in the future. Ad break incoming. Oh, fuck. Fuck. There it is. There it is. Well, those are the topics for today. I guess I should make it a little bit bigger. Is it visible? Every single time I will have this problem. No, okay, you can see it. We're fine in that regards. In those regards, then let me move once again to here. Let me also close this. Okay, there it is. Now, for real, we're completely fine. I guess I cannot. Well, let me move the mic a little bit because okay, just in case. There it is. Just in case, the dear Apple eating that is kind of common here, because I was going to say, I guess I don't really have anything else to do so far, or that I can remember correctly, so to speak. So let me really start with my Apple. Meanwhile, we will see what ends up springing out of my mind for the sake of it. So far, what I really wanted to say the most is I had a great day, and I guess I also kind of realized once again how important it is to constantly remind oneself of the whole greatness of the situations that we are in, or at the very least, in my case, so to speak, because that is the most precious part about it, and the most real part about it. The whole rest of things doesn't really exist that much, in the sense of being appreciable or not. But what really affects the self is the most important part that one can really harness and one can really enjoy. So I think one cannot completely understand the, the importance of being aware about it. But at the very least, I also am happy of having the possibility itself of noticing those patterns, those importances, those weights in life that should be appreciated, so to speak. So, yes, very, very thankful for those. But I mean, now that I say thankful, I also remember the idea of, or the kind of problem that it was to not really have that much ways to really address words, in a sense, because the more I analyze them, the more I find that in one hand they really hold incredible amounts of power, but in the other side they also could not completely destroy, but rather change somebody's whole life without a real, not a capacity itself, but okay, without the individual who realizes that action being really capable of noticing how much they are impacting on others more than anything else. That is what I wanted to say. Because at the end of the day, in this particular thing that I am talking about, it is really consistent, so to speak, to see. Or well, just in case if it wasn't clear enough, I am talking about the concept of words themselves and the weight that they carry around. And as I was trying to say, it is kind of incredible to see how much it really can convey a sentence. In one hand, while in the other, it also, if the person itself who receives those words cannot really perceive, perceive any kind of benefit at all, it is not only time lost, but well, it isn't completely energy lost. There are a lot of things that are really more hurtful than that. But I will say it it is more like a problem that starts existing when one realizes how incredibly not impossible, how incredibly hurtful it becomes to really convey to somebody who you already know the ways that their different minds work, the real capacities of, as I said before, giving them the keys to anything at all. In that same manner, I kind of mean more than anything else in this case. The idea of really having the possibility of, as I said before, just in case it wasn't completely clear, giving somebody who you know a helpful word. Because I also, okay, now that I say it, I also realize it has two sides, that specific thing. Because one side, it is true that you have so much context about the person itself, the subject that you are going to refer. On one hand, it is true. On the other hand, it is not so true that you, for example, couldn't have the possibility of conveying whatever you want in the manner that you want. Even more because you already know so much about that person that you could really, if you are not harness, so to speak, about different mm, things that really become, well, kind of obvious. You are not harnessed by the harnesses of not being impolite to the other person, you could really attack them. And I do not mean it in the sense of damaging the other, but rather being impactful with your message. So that is why it is important to know, or well, It isn't that it is important. It is another tool, another way to communicate whatever you want. Because, in a sense, it might even be more helpful for you to do that, or to have that door open, so to speak, than to be completely lost in life in, in some way. Even if that is not completely true. Because, let's say it like this, not everybody will really have the chances of appreciating who they are, in a sense of really learning and finding not only who they are, but also who those who are around them are. So, if you already feel motivated enough to start practicing and learning about how to impact on others, I will say it comes in, in the ladder of efforts, in that sense, in the ladder of efforts that end up creating somebody who is capable of convincing others, or not convincing in the sense of opening or giving them a possibility or a reality that they are not capable of handling, or rather convincing or swaying them for things that you yourself will only benefit from, and they, if they were to do what you are telling them, will end up only losing. No, rather, you have the possibility of convincing somebody of doing something, whatever it is, as long as you really try it. In the sense of, because you have in your hands so much knowledge about what they are and who they are, you can really create the most tailored down the reality, so to speak, for them. So yeah, I guess in that sense, it really is helpful to have mm, the possibility of the tool at hand of showing others a way. But even if, or well, not even if that is true, also because it is true, you have the responsibility, I will say, of completely understanding how much you can really, and in this case, I really mean it, damage somebody. Because mm, I think it shouldn't really apply to you if you are trying to help somebody else, but the possibility itself of having that thing existing in you, even more when you are starting in the pathway, so to speak, of helping others, is always dormant, or is always there. Or, yeah, another one of the many ways of saying it is always non-zero. So yes, you really need to know how much you could, by saying something completely tailored to the one specific subject that you have in front of you, for the sake of being hurtful, spelled out to them, you could really, 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 really do a lot of harm. So that is why it is a responsibility rather than a simple thing to have in mind. At the end of the day, mm, well, meaning it in the sense of not a real responsibility that every single one faces, but rather those who really are trying to get anywhere should carry with themselves. Because if you know, if you do not accept that what you might say to others could possibly end up being so damaging to them that you could really get somebody to the deepest part of their inner minds and to make them break, so to speak. Obviously, there are some terms here more than anything that are not so not so applicable to an average person trying to help others, or trying to, in this case, to harshly insult somebody else. because at the end of the day, it really takes a lot of interest, be it good or bad, to read somebody such harsh words that whatever you say might really be hurtful to them. But even in this case, even if that is true, it also is true that you yourself hold the responsibility in, yeah, one thing doesn't invalidate the other basically. You really also need to be careful about how you address others more than anything else. Because I will say like this. At the end of the day, when words really have a sense behind them, you could not even realize how much, you are hurting others. So that is why it ends up becoming rather important to have that particular idea always floating around. Mhm. Because also, in this manner, where more than anything else, speaking from my personal side, so I also mean it more than anything else on the side of you also need to know that you might end up talking with people or not talking, being there for people who really needs um, a specific message rather than an objective tool for anybody. They might really need a lot of patience and they might really need a lot of appreciation shown to themselves. Welcome, Roswell. Welcome. Right now we're eating the apple, so that's what's going on. Welcome. But well, as I was going to say, even if that is true, or well, not even if that is true, because in this case, because that is true, you really need to be careful about how you try to go around those people. Um, well, I mean, you can redeem the keys. Nobody is really holding you back. Really, if you want to do it, do it. You can do whatever they want you want with your points. Wait, we didn't finish the burning points. Oh, this is so sad. This is so sad. What the fuck does this end? I cannot even see it. I cannot see when. What the fuck? When does this end? What? Uh, Review request. I don't know. No. The burning you see on the redeems. There is the what is it? The 20k points burn, or in this case nutrients burned. So I don't know when it does. Oh, okay, there it is. 10 days left. Holy fuck! It is better than what I expected. Okay. No. There is still a lot of time. Anyways, but yeah. Mm. Apple. As I was going on, I intended more than anything else to say. Also, that it is not only important to consider the individual and consider the words, as well as to consider the care with with which the care with which you spell out those words for others. In this particular manner, because it really might show a dark, or well, not a dark, kind of important to not let the subject itself end if you are not careful enough. Because thinking it from the whole perspective of trying to be as helpful as possible with simple words, at least I personally do not find it to be so entertaining for me myself to have constant reminders that, so to speak, they are also human. Because I know that what somebody is telling me comes from a human. I do not need to hear on every single sentence or on the preface of every single idea, so to speak. A constant reminder that what they are talking about might not be completely round or completely perfect or the best idea out there in the sense of being the most developed or anything like that. At the end of the day, at least I personally do not expect perfection and even less from somebody who I don't even know. In the sense of, why would I expect it when I myself do not also expect others to expect from me, being kind of redundant there, perfection if they don't even know me? And kind of also, if somebody else is not showing or having in one of the first impressions the attitude of being perfect, why would I also care about their whole message being perfect or not? I I think it is important, yes, to be a little bit humanized in the sense of having a section that by itself shows others how your whole journey was. But more than anything else, it is not because the journey itself might show others tools in the case of a very, very, very particular journey, but rather because it shows others that you also suffer. And I personally am pretty sure that when you have the possibility of seeing others also suffer, you start to appreciate what they are saying more. In the sense of, because I know that you are also human, I accept your words as those of a human instead of those of a machine, so to speak. So I guess in that sense is what I am trying to mean. Why it should be important to have that thing existing always in the background. In one sense, it isn't that it is completely true also. Well, it is kind of implied that whatever I am talking about here comes from my mind. I don't have an script or anything like that, at least for this part. So I really am only going on based on my ideas. So yeah. But well, hmm, also, in a sense, I was thinking a little bit about the concept of, if you really are trying to get anywhere, meaning if you really are trying to show anybody a useful thing, in a sense, you really need to develop the skill of being capable to connect every single thing you yourself. Because, in the sense of only for you, knowing how things are related one to another shows you an easier way to do it. But in the sense of being a teacher for others, when you have the possibility of creating examples out of seemingly unrelated things, it really carries a lot of meaning and it really has more possibilities of being understood as long as those examples really match. I think more than anything else, because in a sense, if you really are trying to create an example good enough, you need to have the capacity of doing that. Mm, well, yeah, it is kind of unavoidable that if you are trying to go specifically for that thing on your life, you also expect or at the very least try to create on you the constant of being somebody, so to speak, who shows others that there is a different application or there is a very similar concept that they can also take lessons from, so to speak, not in the sense of mm, the, they needing to pay attention to other things rather or aside from what you're already talking about, but in the sense of I would say proving to others that what you're talking about is not self-contained or is not mm, private only to you. Because at the end of the day, if what you're talking about is really only residing in you, how anybody will really be able to relate to it? Welcome, Hyundai. Yes, so far we are eating the apple only. I am, I am trying to find a base with which I am comfortable in one hand and in the other I am also capable of talking correctly. So yes, apple eating moment. But well, as I was trying to say here, I think it might come from the part. Okay, okay. I think it might come from the part of the person itself who really wants to have the capacity of saying or convincing themselves, so to speak, or in another way to say it, finding that it really is a sustainable proof by itself when those who are trying to give them a lesson also give them something similar, but not because by itself it happens like that, rather because when you see that there are different things with similar concepts, or even if you didn't know that they were similar, when those things are presented to you, you also find those concepts to be similar, you have an easier time believing what you're being told. Because, in a sense, what you already know is one of the best ways to guide yourself in the sense of finding reliable sources. Therefore, when somebody is really capable of giving you great examples, it is not that you become more swayable, but rather that they have a higher capacity of swaying you because of their words. I think that is a way to say it. I am not completely sure if that is also applicable here, but I think that is a way to say it. And well, I think so far I kind of got really silent because it felt like like a big idea, that single thing. So I was trying to chill for a bit right now. So more than anything else, this is literally emptiness words, meaningless words that I am spewing for the sake of recuperating my own mind for a little bit. It, well, in that sense, I can really say sometimes it fucking happens so much that I say things that I myself didn't even consider or didn't even think about, that by the act of saying them, I really get tired. So, in a sense, also, it isn't that I do not enjoy that, kind of the opposite. It's really lovable to see how much the mind itself can create. So, yeah, mm, knowing the process of that. But mm, in that sense, talking about, or going back to the idea of talking about more about myself, mm, I was thinking earlier today, and I kind of said it before. You really have always the capacity of appreciating who you are, or and the things that surround you. In one hand, in the other, it really is hard. But even if those two things are true, you also have the third option of never stopping to do that. So I get amazed at those people who are somehow capable of not really paying attention at all to their different environments for the no, for the, I would even say like this, they kind of override their necessity of finding validation of what they are doing. In a sense, what I mean, I am talking about a perfect subject, so to speak. I wouldn't even know if that is real in this case. At the end of the day, is anybody really capable of going forward without any feedback at all, and somehow still without even taking any consideration what they are doing, still improve? Because it is kind of a constant thing that you notice the flaws that you have, therefore you fix them, therefore you improve. But if you do not even stop to think about the things that you are doing good, therefore also the things that you are doing bad, you cannot improve in that sense. So there shouldn't be anybody that is capable of not relying on the happiness of what they are doing to keep going on. Maybe, okay, let me say it like this. Maybe they found a way to derive happiness from other things that end up happening based, based on what they are doing. So to speak, for example, sometimes you might not even pay attention to what you are doing and if it is improvable or not. It's okay, a work. Sometimes if you're a miner, you might not even think about how much damage or not you are giving to your own body, because in the case of having you yourself a family, you are a lot more happy because you know you are the main income source for them. And even in those cases, even if your own health is diminished because the actions that you are taking end up having such a toll in your body, you still decide to keep going on because you're not paying attention to something that might not even be improvable in a sense. But we are more than anything else obtaining the happiness and obtaining the forces to keep going on and keep repeating the same pattern of actions because you found a beacon of hope that is, in that case, as I said before, your family. So I guess those people are not really also somebody who does not think about those things, but rather somebody who somehow found the capacity in themselves of really being happy about things because they themselves are happy about it. So yeah, I guess it do be like that, LMO. And well, also changing completely random to another unrelated topic, I was thinking a little bit. And now that I say this, I really come back to this idea. It really feels like sometimes what I am thinking doesn't even come from me in the sense of not a revelation, but rather an idea that I am pretty sure I already heard somewhere else. In a sense, um, okay, in a sense, for example, what I said could be applicable to the example of what is it? Do it for her. The meme, do it for her. That is one good way to do it, to say it. There is a lot of places where you can derive, or sorry, derive a lot of deep ideas, but it isn't that we do not take the time. We, more than anything else, we feel like we do not have the time enough to do it ourselves. So I guess yeah, it is kind of hard to say, but we kind of have a responsibility that we do not fulfill in that sense. Well, I guess it is the same thing that I had been considering at this time. It is sad that we do not have the realization of ourselves of how much we can really do whatever we want. In the sense of there is no real obligation to consume the things that you only find entertaining. When in the end, if you also notice and if those tools were given to you in the mean of also finding equal or even higher amounts of happiness in the act of doing, in this case, for example, doing the reasoning that comes from the acceptance and the shaping of a more fleshed out reality in front of you. If you really did it and you find it to be equal or even more, as I said before, entertaining than the older entertainment that you were doing by yourself, those tools will really be more helpful than almost. I do not want to really be bigot and say anything else, but it feels weird to not take it as, in a sense, something that might be vital for anybody. Hello, sorry. So far, we're still eating the apple. We are already spending like 14 minutes here eating an apple. So, welcome. Also, it became amazing, but I just noticed right now. Think a little bit off topic. Yeah, apple. Um, I already stopped paying attention to the apple. I think the last 3 or 4 streams I stopped paying attention to the apples and to the bananas and to the anything that I eat here, because I just noticed that one of the parts that I ate was completely horrible, but I anyways ate it, so I don't know. I guess matter over no mind over matter, yeah. But let me go back to what I was saying then. I think it really comes. Well, no. I hope I had the reason. I hope I had the possibility of seeing. I think it comes specifically from this, because in reality, at least I myself find it very hard to pinpoint exactly what is it that we stop giving others encouragement for the sake of the development of the whole society that we are in. Because even if you, so to speak, even if we are capitalist, we will still want to have better people, better ideas, better everything. It isn't that if you were to say the system itself is what made us be like this, in that sense it will then give it a reason as to why we are so kind of focused on, or incapable of focusing, so to speak, on the improvement and the constant reanalyzing of the person itself, the success that we are ourselves. I don't even think I have a possibility of really saying anything in that sense about where it comes from. Mario, let me give a second. But well, even if that is true, also, I think at the very least, anybody is really capable of kind of understanding that they themselves really have a lot of capacities in their own minds of doing those actions more than anything else. And also, sorry, I didn't say it, and I should have said it. Welcome, and welcome, Ginkgo. I kind of forgot to say it. I am pretty sure. So welcome, both of you. Sorry for taking so long. And also, beautiful baby. Wow. What the fuck? Is a police? had some parts that were almost spoiled. The inner parts are green, and some parts are very, very soft. Others are so hard. What the fuck is this apple? This is real engineering. Food engineering. It tastes weird. Is all I am going to say. Anyways, yeah, probably a really laboratory made apple. What the fuck? It tastes almost more like beer than any. What the fuck? What the fuck I have been eating? I mind over matter. Shut up. The apple itself is beautiful. Let me continue. And on the seventh day, it was the first apple I made, Ginkgo said. And it was when nobody noticed the most beautiful apple ever created. Wow, what an amazing thing, Ginkgo. Thank you. No, yeah, it tastes fucking weird sometimes. I don't know. But anyways, I'm close to finishing this, so give me a second so that I can go and throw the apple cart. Let me. Okay, there it is. I am done with this. Now it tastes like fucking plastic. What the fuck? What the fuck is this? No, really. It really tastes weird. Anyways, give me a second. I'm going to throw the apple cart. Meanwhile, slow transition. Pa 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 pa. Take this, and now let me mute because I don't need you to hear my steps and my running towards the trash bin. Fuck. Okay, I am fine. Nothing happened. Sorry. Holy shit, I almost died. What a way to start this. Anyways, here we are. Now for real. For real, for real. Okay, it is very, very fine, faint in the background, the guitar. Let me try to see if in the stream it is louder, because I myself I cannot even hear it, or it feels like it is almost not hearable at all. So no, okay, it is fine. I don't know. I might be going crazy or something like that. But well, now, as I was going to say, how are we feeling? Do we want to start with the topics? Is there something in particular that we have an interest in touching? Obviously, as always, I'm sorry. I didn't mean in the sense of I am going to change what the priority order of the list. So I only said it, so to speak, to see if I can start or not. So or if I should start or not. So yeah, what do you mean? Bukum, can you explain yourself? What the fuck do you mean with your apples? Do you want to see my apples? No, sips the band. No, what? Um, give me a second. So, wait. Hello, Pirate Ninja, the deer, the welcome. 777, yeah. Um, why do I like them? Give us a second. Why do I like the apples so much? More than anything else. It isn't that I really like them. I, mm, I think I kind of, what is it? What was the word? Placebo effect. I really feel better when I have an apple because when I was, well, through my whole journey until this point, I really learned a lot about fruits, and I found, as I said before, more than anything else, placebo effect. I really find apples to be very beneficial to me. It might not really be so true by itself, but I myself find it to be true. So I really enjoy eating fruits even more at night when, as I said before, pure copium. I think it might be more beneficial for myself to do it like that and all of that. So yes, that is why I enjoy them. And on the other hand, what you are saying, Ginkgo, is completely false. I am pretty sure there are. Okay, I don't even need to go and search it. Go Google Mario and rabbits. There are a lot of rabbits that have swords in them, as well as in the Paper Marios. There are a lot of things that have swords. Mario itself might not carry a sword, but other enemies do. I know, well, but what you said about not being swords in Mario and Mario not carrying a sword himself are two completely different things, my brother. Yes, it is true. You know, Mario itself hardly carries anything aside from his hammer, if I'm not wrong, or well, the power-ups, if you are counting also that. Mm. Of a different kind, what? What? What the fuck? What? What is this? What? This is disgraceful. Well, I hope you're saying it as a fact, Ginkgo, because I am not going to search specifically for the swords or whatnot in Mario 64. I hope it was a fact. Thank you for the fact, Ginkgo. I am completely sure that what you said is true. You can see it, but I am giving you also a like with my hand. So figure that out yourself. Like, yes, it is true. There are no swords in Super Mario 64. Probably. But well, then let me give a second because I was really interested in this thing to ponder. Then, before before not, while I was drawing the apple heart, and while I was going there and coming back to here, I found that what I said before about needing time to kind of take a break from the act of thinking itself, as I said it here, I didn't say it anywhere else, so it is on the word. If somebody finds it in the future, it is in the word. I said it and I needed to think about it because do I really need time? Or not personally, in the sense of, is it really necessary to stop and think about the things that you're hearing? At least, in that case, I would prefer to say it in a personal way because, as I said before, I tend to vocalize a lot of thoughts that I have here in this manner and in this presentation, so it isn't that I really need to stop to think about them. It is. Okay. It comes more than anything else because if I notice that I am having, so to speak, what is it? Okay, give me a fucking second because I am already tired of saying a revelation. No, this is not the fucking Bible. Nobody's having revelations here. What the fuck it is? Synonyms. Google, tell me what are the synonyms of revelation. discovery, disclosure. No, this is not a fucking divine communication. Apocalypse. What? What? This? Yeah, we're having apocalypses. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, let me see. Words discovery. The what? What is another? There should be more synonyms. What the fuck did epiphany fucking is? An an eye opener idea, or an epiphany, or as it said before, a disclosure, or an exposition to a new concept. Basically that, not a fucking revelation, or not biblically accurate. We are literally talking here. But well, oh man, now that I say that, man, I guess, I hope when the time comes, I really am able to convey the whole uh, kind of biblical side, or the whole what was it, biblical experiences that we have, as I heard it from somebody who was really able to put it in a sense, in a manner that made so much sense. It was incredible. But I only say it to this more than anything else, because I am not speaking about it, and even less today. But well, sorry, going back to what I really wanted to say, in this case, I think, as I said before, I make a lot of stops when I think we're having a disclosure of an idea that might be heavy by itself, because the possibility, as I kind of already noticed before, the possibility of it not being easy to digest to those who are hearing it, it holds me back rather than gives me courage in that sense, because I wouldn't really, I think, in a sense, nobody will really want to keep going on and on and on and on and on, even if I myself, I am in a sense capable of following at the very least 1% better what I am speaking about than those who are hearing this. Even if that is true, on the other hand, nobody will really want to do that, because this is not a journey that I am doing by myself. Therefore, it has a literal no sense to hear in a kind of how is it, in a communal experience, to start running, so to speak, to literally start leaving behind those who are hearing this. It will be okay. It will be an example that is perfect. It will be the same as if I were to, out of nowhere, get up, leave my microphone, my headset, and start talking in my room by myself. Because at the end of the day, why I don't do that also? So yes, I think that is why, more than anything else, also I tend to pause when I have ideas that I feel are heavy. I think I am not so sure. So yeah, basically that. There it is. Now we have a response to our question. Now we can really start. So yeah. Welcome to the topics of the night. They had been this whole time on screen, so I don't really need to say them once again. Topics. First topic, absorbing stuff. So yes, let's start. Before, let me do this. And yeah, now, for real. Topics of the night, absorbing stuff, preface of the topic itself. It kind of comes just in case somebody might not really understand what those two words put together mean, in the sense of learning things and all of that. So yeah, more than anything else, when I thought about it, in the moment I wrote it down, preparing for this stream, I tried to go about it in a sense, or in a manner that, more than anything else, is who is Mario? Who is Mario? Sorry, I didn't mean to. It was Mario. Mario, that Mario. Mario. You should Google Mario. Eh, Stop! What the fuck are you, brother? You are so troll. What? What are you saying? Why do you tell him to stop trolling if you are also fucking troll? Hmm? Who told you to stop trolling? Huh? Who gave you the entitlement to tell others to stop trolling? Nobody tells you. But what? It isn't a personal attack. I love you, Nico. Do not. Well, probably Mario is literally a concept. It is literally pixels on an screen. So yeah. But well, continuing by itself. Sorry. Sorry for the diversion of the mind that we have for a second. Literally, a brain cell came out running. It said, "Who the fuck is Mario?" But well, going back, preface, as I was saying, the concept that I was trying to go for, more than anything else, is the idea of how to learn and also, okay, no, nothing else. I had another thing to say when I read it again, literally now, but I already forgot about it. So yeah, thank you, Mario. You fucking distracted me. No, sorry, don't worry. In a sense, it is my fault for not having a text prepared. So yeah, let me now preface, finish topic itself. Absorbing stuff starts here now. As I said before, more than anything else, we are going to talk about the concept of trying to learn and trying to absorb stuff. Okay, I found it also. I found what I was going to say before. So, why would it be important to learn how to learn? I think it is kind of common for those who are, more than anything else, trying to embark on a journey of learning about different things that they might need to learn about. Not that they have an interest already, but that they need to learn. Maybe because there is an underlying interest, or because if they learn about it, they could accomplish an interest that is blocked, so to speak, behind having that prior knowledge, so to speak. The most obvious example is always trying to go for a degree. If you are trying to go for a degree, there are a lot of things that you need to know. You might not have an interest by itself to learn about them. For example, a teacher has to learn sometimes, or well, at least here in Argentina, you have to learn, aside from a lot of other things that are really related to being a teacher, you also have to learn how to be apolitical when you are talking or when you are giving a class. So that is why sometimes you have to learn things that might not be so much aligned with your interests, because in those cases it really exists the necessity of learning them because they will fulfill your interests. So that is why in this case we are more than anything else talking about the concept of learning about them for the sake of, or when learning about a way to learn about things in general. Sorry if it is kind of weird to say it. For the sake of having an easier time in the case of trying to achieve and trying to obtain, so to speak, obviously the entertainment in itself, that ends up coming from the accomplishment of your objectives and your interests. So yes, why? The why was already fulfilled. Now we are going to the how. I fucking forgot about the. Nobody told me nothing. Ah. Well, anyways, no problem. Sorry. There will be a kind of messy tag, but I will have to go and skim the stream later on to find where I stopped eating my apple. Fuck. Now, continuing. Sorry for that intermission. Yeah, no, it is my own fault at the end of the day. Literally, I am the one who is in charge of this, so don't worry. Now, continuing. Sorry. Fuck. Why? Or Well, okay, as I said before, the why has already been responded. Now we are going to the how more than anything else, because the how is something that if you really never had tried or have found a way to learn about things, you also kind of have a hard time finding. But in a sense, the best way to put it in words is make the things that are never interesting to you something that you can really say and that you can really convey or you can really, more than anything else, feel are going to be worth for you. In a sense, it comes with the realization that you need to convert every single idea and every single concept into something that becomes interesting, so to speak. Mm, okay, in a sense, or well, sorry for repeating so much in a sense, um, in some ways, it kind of refers to the idea of being able, as kind of as we were talking before, you need to derive a lot of happiness and you need to derive, in this case, a lot of interest and to find more than anything else a real motivation for you to learn about the different things that you before might not have even wanted to delve into. Because I think more than anything else, if you find that you are being requested to learn about something, almost anybody ever can really say that they are being requested to learn about a certain thing because it is important for their objectives. It isn't that you are completely out of nowhere. Okay, let's say it like this: you are requested to learn tomorrow. You are requested to learn how to eat with your opposite hand or to eat with your feet. And you will literally never have a use for it. You will literally have nothing to do with your feet after that. You will almost, or okay, even if you were to learn it properly, the day after tomorrow, you will lose that knowledge. No. It means that, for example, even if by itself it feels sometimes that one of the best examples that always comes to my mind is when you are doing a job and they request you to take lessons and to go to um, those tiny talks and those sometimes almost non-obligatory um, reunions to have, it doesn't really mean that you are more than anything else obligated to do it. Therefore, it is a challenge. In a sense, trying to, in this case, really find a derivation of interest and kind of giving an example by itself, you can really find that if you want to keep having that work more than anything else because you already obtained it, let's say, if you really want to keep your work and if you really want to be someone who has the capacities of saying what I am doing is by itself valuable enough that I am kind of the only one capable of doing it, you need to fulfill a lot of requirements. It is kind of redundant here, but always what you are going to do will not be easy. If you were expecting that what you are going to do will be as easy as breathing, there is a kind of misconception there, because in reality, almost nothing that really requires efforts put constantly is as easy as it might look, or as easy as the idea itself might end up popping in your head, so to speak. Because in reality, as I said before, there are a lot of things that by themselves might not already seem to be related at all with your most personal objectives, but at the same time, you also have the capacity of saying, okay, what I am going to do will really be beneficial for me because more than anything else, it is a crucial part for my adventure and it is a crucial part for my obtainment of the satisfaction that I am looking for. If you really want, in this case, to be able to learn and to be able to fulfill and to be able to really well, yeah,
Nico Ni 252 gifted a tier 1 sub to Pirate Ninja _the_3rd.
Yes,
they have given 5 gift subs in the channel.
What? Why is it every time longer? But well, sorry. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Nico Ni 252. And also, you're welcome. Pirate Ninja the Tier, you're very welcome. But well, thank you. Now, continuing. As I was going to say, I shouldn't be talking when the alert goes off, because even if I myself do not hear it that loud, it really is loud, so I mean, I cannot avoid it. I forget that not everybody is kind of mentally prepared for that ear rape. But anyways, going back to what I was saying. Thank you, Ingo. Going back to what I was saying, it really more than anything else is a proof that what you want really needs dedication. And if you really want to learn about different things, you really need to find the motivation on the act itself of working towards, in this case, whatever you're trying to do. It shouldn't be, I don't know if it is kind of logical to say it, but it shouldn't be something that the motivation, something that comes from a different part or comes or is given to you from somebody else. In reality, the motivation is kind of always reliant on you yourself in these cases, because at the end of the day, even if it isn't on this actual thing that you are confronting, so to speak, without giving any particular example, even if it isn't in this particular thing that you're trying to accomplish, that you yourself do not have to put effort to find the motivation and to find the interest into learning or into anything at all, in the future it might end up, or it isn't that it might, it will obviously end up coming. You will not be completely accompanied your whole life. It is statistically speaking impossible to be your whole life helped by others. So that is why in this case it is important to have this tool. At least that is why I say it. So yes, trust and clips as always. Do you have any question? Do you have anything that I should answer? Do you have anything obviously to this topic that applies and that should be responded? Any or not any? We are not any. Water. Okay, oh, for real, let me start making fucking timestamp. Okay, well, now that I see the chat, I think there is a kind of a way for me to notice where I started talking about the real topic itself. It should be kind of between what. Okay. Between what Pirate Ninja said about who is Mario and a little bit further down the line. So yes, I guess I kind of have a guidance about that. I'm not so lost in that sense. Also, did this shit change on stream or I'm going crazy? Yeah, okay, no, yeah, it changed on stream. I'm fine. Yeah, it changed on stream, right? It fucking changed. Let me check just in case. Mano Machine, Mario, you want the truth? You want the real truth? Mario is an idea. Mario is an idea. But anyways. Wait, what? What I can see the... What happened? I can see the message here. Twitch? Are we fine, Twitch? Did this shit broke? What happened? I lost the message. I cannot see it on this other chat. What is going on? Don't tell me, Twitch, that we are going to crash. My internet is working fine, Twitch. What is your problem this time? Okay, there it is. I think it is. It should be working. I refreshed the page just in case. Oh well. Let's pray for the best. Anyways, continuing. Second topic of the night. Holy fuck, what? It is already so late. Holy fuck. This is going to be so long. Anyways, fuck. Self-sacrifice for what we desire. The second topic of the night, and as always, a little bit of preface about where, in this case, where this idea came from. Because I think I kind of already talked about it before, in a pretty similar manner, about the whole concept of more than anything else, you really need to find, or you really, it isn't that you need to find, you should have an easier time understanding the concept of you yourself. We have to sacrifice a lot for the real things, or for the most objectively good, so to speak, or most blissful, dreams that you have. Because they themselves are not so easy to achieve as the mind as the mind ends up making them look more than anything else. So that is where this idea comes from. And in this case, it could also be kind of related to what we were talking before. Yeah, it is still the preface here, because I didn't plan it to be so related out of nowhere. But it could really be related, because sometimes, for example, you really need to accept that one of the best ways to derive an interest into the things that you might not really want to do is you really need to do those particular things, those particular acts, even if you yourself do not feel like doing them. Because more than anything else, the importance of being able to do the wholeness of your act, so to speak, is what really gives you the reward. Nobody should really expect to find achievements be achieved, obviously, if what they are trying to do is half-ass, so to speak. The only positive thing that could be said, if you still kind of think and hope that by being half-ass you will get anything, is at the very least you will get an amount, an achievement that will be, in the best of the cases, equal to your efforts. In the best of the cases. So if you are half-assed, you will get a half-assed achievement. In the best of the cases, because reality itself is also kind of very depressing sometimes. Even if you were to completely work your way around the desires that you have, and even if those achievements were more than anything else done wholeheartedly, you might also find that the rewards are not as perfect as they seem in your mind. So that is why it is important in these cases to also have a different mental standing, but that is not the point here. Anyways, moving on to the topic itself. Why it is important to understand it, and why, as we kind of said it before, topic, why it is important to have a little bit of self-sacrifice for the things that we desire. Kind of as I already said before, the most crucial part of this whole adventure comes from the realization that you will really need to spend time doing things that you might not really feel like doing. You might really find yourself doing things that might not even seem particularly, not even interesting, not even enjoyable, not even something that you, if you were in another position, would even try to do, for the sake of accomplishing your desires and for the sake of really becoming what you wanted to become, or really having in your hand that certain satisfaction that you wanted to go for. In these cases, as I said before, this is kind of a personal realization. As I said before, in this particular stream, it is more of an idea that you find, that a lot of times you will spend your time on things that will never be enjoyable, but very, in this case, really related to what I was talking before. You kind of also have the responsibility of finding in yourself the satisfaction to keep going on, because self-sacrifice, as it it is implied on the words, means that you will not have a great experience, and that a lot of times it is self-imposed more than anything else. So if you accept those penances, you can also, in a sense, if you try it, depart from the hurting itself of the actions, because the act of realizing that what you are doing is in its whole for the sake of accomplishing your objectives might give you a possibility, as we were saying before, of finding the real value of what you're doing and finding also a real interest into going forward based on what you really wanted to get and what you really, as we have been saying this whole time, you really wanted to prove others more than anything else that you were able to accomplish. So yes, it is not easy, and it is never, well, a very central idea these days is it never is easy. Words are magical. No matter how many times I say it might as well never be completely, so to speak, transferred to those who are hearing this. That it never is easy to understand and to really have a patience and have a love, so to speak, high enough to be able to pardon those times that you are going to lose your own time, pardon those situations that are really going to stress you out, pardon, in a sense, almost everything that comes from the act of self-sacrificing for your desires. Because in this case, also something that really exists when you are self-sacrificing is more than anything else the loss of time that you will have to go through, the loss of probably time that you will rather spend on desires themselves that could be satisfied in an easier way, so to speak. Okay, as I kind of said, I don't know if I said it before or not, but one of the best examples is instead of doing those things and instead of working towards those desires that are some way in a higher order, you could always go for an easier entertainment that by itself might not be so rewarding, but also at the same time is not so demanding for you. So that is why you also need to find a balance, and you need to find more than anything else a real reason as to why you keep going. Because as I said it before, and in this case it is really important to have it in mind, if you yourself do not develop the habit of really having a clear mind about how much time you will spend, how much hours you will really use, how much dedication you will really be able to create based on your own desires for the sake of achieving whatever you want, the time that by whatever reason you really get proven, you might not be able to withstand the test, so to speak, because it is kind of a very what is it? Very fate way to say it, but yes, almost anybody will get tested on the things that they are trying to go for. So, if what you're trying to go for is something that you're not really committed, and you also did not even create such walls against a test, so to speak, will not have an easy time, and you might even fail in achieving whatever you want. But in the other hand, if you were prepared for, in a sense, almost every single situation that presents to you, and you were to really have at hand the possibility of saying, yeah, you know what, whatever I am going to try to go forward and try to fight for will, even if it sometimes really feels hurtful, at the same time will give me a lot of rewards that I want, even if those two things are true, I will still keep going. So yes, in this case, that is why, as I have been saying, you really need to find more than anything a withstanding point, and you really need to create, so to speak, beacons of hope, as we talked before. This is the point where it really is important for you to create those more than anything else for your own sake. It isn't also something that might get lost in the whole translation of the idea. It isn't for the sake of others that you create beacons of hope. It isn't for the sake of others that you also spend your time. It is only for an innocent time for you. Because if what you really know is valuable to not only to you but also to those who are around you, and if you are really trying to achieve it, but at the same time, even if you are really trying to achieve that, you also still live in a sense in ignorance of how incredibly hard it will get. Sometimes, even if those two things are true, you will not be able to withstand it, and you will not be able, even if you, so to speak, even if you know that your action could benefit everybody and your action could be so helpful to the whole world, if you do not have in the moment itself where, so to speak, a crash so big happens in front of you or directly to you, you really will break. So that is why it is important to have those tools at hand more than anything else, because, as I said before, not for others, for your own sake. If you really want to keep going at whatever endeavor you are taking head on, it is vital to have those tools created for your own self. So yes, I think I don't have anything else to really add to this idea so far. Let me see. Let me see. Meanwhile, as always, if there is any question at all, that I am pretty sure there is nothing else to add. At least for now, this idea. No, yeah, I think I don't have really anything else so far to add, particularly to this, at least for now. So we shall try to move on. Mm, okay, let me first beforehand. Let me create. This is getting more and more complicated. Let me create a timestamp and I don't know. I have the feeling like I am forgetting to talk about something, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned the most important things at the very least about the self-sacrifice. There it is. Now this, let me delete this, add these 3 points here, and well, we are finally needing, or okay, we are finally did more than half. Now we are needing the third idea. So yes, we are technically at the half point of the list itself. The other parts were already done, so yeah. Let me. we were fine, yeah, we're fine. Still, internet is still going strong, so there shouldn't be any warning actions. Okay. Well, I mean, fucking sentences that I read. Dear topic of the night, and in this case, we are more than anything else dealing with the idea of following ideologies. Oh man, oh man. Well, I mean, the preface will be something that came to my mind. It is kind of hard to talk about ideologies without sometimes attacking the individual. So let's pray for the best, because I really do not mean it in a critical way, or in a destructive way. It is more like as if somehow we were kind of analyzing it from an outsider perspective, as I like to say. It is not a critic about whoever has ideologies or whoever desires to do anything like that. It is more of a random event that we were talking about ideologies. We're not going to really critique anything at all in a harsh manner. It is only a kind of, well, as always, and more than anything else, there is to be an uplifting message, because even if there are things that might be bashed down, so far we are not really there to try and destroy anything at all. more than, and as I kind of said it earlier, not in stream but on a tweet, in a very short manner, there is no real meaning attacking the individuals. It, it is more useful to attack the ideologies, the system, the whatever it is, but the individual never should be attacked. At the end of the day, a person is really, in a lot of ways, even more delicate than a bubble, so that is why it isn't beneficial to attack anybody in that sense. So yes, let's start with this for real, for real. Um, the topic itself, following ideologies, and I didn't say it in the preface. I kind of gave a more than anything an explanation about how we were going to talk about it. So how or what we are going to talk about here is how helpful it might be to anybody to stick to an ideology. That is the real meaning of this topic. How helpful it might become to those who do not have anything at all in that sense to find something to start relating to and to start, in this case, as the idea itself is presented, start supporting yourself onto. Because, in a sense, trying to connect what we have been already talking before and this particular thing, an ideology is one of the strongest beacons of hope that anybody could have. Why? Because a whole ideology gives you not only a reason as to why you exist, a reason as to why you might help others, a reason as to why you do the actions that you do. So in this case, that is why we are talking about an ideology. Not in, as I said before, not in the sense of destroying anything in particular or attacking any kind of ideological institution and nothing like that. Only the concept of trying to go and trying to find for those who have still not done that a reason as to why start at the very least seeking an ideology that might be good for you. Because, as I said before, when you have an ideology, you have one of the strongest hopes in your life. Because something that tends to happen a lot of times, unless you are not really sure about your ideology, so to speak, and you might even be needing to change your ideology if that is the case, unless you are really contrarian to what you are trying to stick to, your ideologies do a lot of the thinking and do a lot of the supporting of your own self for you, so to speak. Because an ideology a lot of times is comprised of very crucial things that the individual itself tends to grapple and tends to really hold on to when they are tested, so to speak. As we have been talking before, the ideology itself is one of the best vehicles of strength and the best vehicles also of resilience. An ideology gives you one of the easiest cards into anything that you're trying to go for. If you do not have one, it doesn't mean that you have no salvation, and it also doesn't mean that you need to be panicked to death if you do not have one. It kind of in the opposite hand. If you somehow reach this point in your life, hearing somebody tell you about how important they are, you might find yourself blissfully capable of adapting or adopting more correctly any ideology at all that you want. Because if you still at such a point in your life have not found an ideology to follow, you might as well have the possibility of testing every single one until you really say, okay, this one in particular is to my liking. This one in particular will be something that I will start spending my time on. And this one in particular will, above everything else, be the sole reason as to why I keep going. Because also an ideology, in a sense, is also not only a vehicle and a beacon of hope, but an interest and a desire, underlying desire of the subject itself that is always developing and always helping the person, so to speak. Because I didn't truly say it before, but you could even make your desires an ideology. it is something that you could transport, and it is something you could almost interpret as the idea of having something that gives you so many tools, so many things, so many reasons as to why, so many in general, everything. Because if you really submerge yourself and let your whole mind, so to speak, be engrabbed and be completely surrounded by the ideology, you could really have an easy time. But, and I think in this case, even if we are not attacking anything at all, it is important to address the possibility also that the problem of having ideologies is if you are noticing that what you are following is not your own ideology and it is not something that you really say, I want to follow, you might as well be devoiding yourself of all enjoyment in life. At the end of the day, as I said before, you always have the possibility of changing the ideologies that you have. But if that is true, it is also true that you also have the possibility of being completely devoured by an ideology that you never stop to think about, strong enough to have a completely created reason as to why you are following it, and a complete sense as to why you are really doing the things that you are doing for that ideology. So it is one of the, I will say, one of the biggest things to look out for, because ideologies tend to be so helpful on one hand that in the other they could really devour the person. They could really, okay, kind of related to what we were talking the other day, they could really remove the self from you if you let them do that. But so far, at the very least, the most positive thing is always, if you are hearing this, you still have time. So yes, no real need to worry. If you are hearing this and if you are able to process whatever is being said here, as long as you follow this, you also have hope in really devoting your time into finding whatever you really say. This will be my reason as to keep going, and this will be my whole hope. Because yes, ideologies are more than anything else hope in a form of an idea itself. So yes, just in case any question, I don't think I really have anything else to say. I try to stay as neutral as possible, so for the sake of that, I might as well shorten it. Yeah, I think I didn't left anything behind. Well, okay, yes, I forgot something kind of particular to ideology, so let me go to that. Yes, as I said, I forgot something, and that is ideologies might not come only from you. I think it is kind of implied at the same as having real desires. An ideology might not come from your complete inner self. One of the, or it isn't that it might not come. You might have an easier time if you were to follow those who you really think are good enough for you, trying to get an ideology that suits your whole society, so to speak, your whole surroundings, more than society, your whole surroundings. And sometimes it is, if it is needed, you might change your surroundings for the sake of your ideology. But in the case of you having not even a clear ideology, you might as well try to establish one with those who already surround you rather than to change your whole environment for the sake of finding one itself. Unless, well, oh, kind of obvious, unless it applies to you that your ideology or the one that you were following before was something that you really hated with such a passion that you had to change your whole lifestyle for the sake of finding a new one. Unless that is true, you shouldn't really try to change every single thing. At the end of the day, radical changes are not the best approach, almost to nothing at all. No, yeah, I don't think you could solve anything if you were to take a radical approach to the act of following an ideology that you really enjoy. So yes, I in that sense I think that's it. This time for real. So well, I really think in this case nothing else to add. And well, I already said it, so I I will take it as no questions to be asked. Let me have this here, and this. I cannot do the other way. Okay. Okay, there it is. Finally, no. It isn't that I am rushed. Okay, now, for real. We reached the final topic of the day, deepening by doing it. In this case, okay, before doing anything, what the fuck is everything so related to it? I guess I kind of feel it some days that it happens that every single topic is really related. But in this particular case, it almost feels as if everything had perfectly been tailored, trying to fit a whole team, when in reality, I already said it. I opened the book. Oh no 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 no! Give me a second, okay? Let me hear that. Let me hear that right now. No, yeah, do not worry because it likes to pop up, because I know that I paid attention to what you said. Yes, there is a static noise. Fuck. Yes, holy fuck, there is a static noise. Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. Oh. That was a lot, my brother. No, yeah, do not worry. It won't happen again because now I am holding the cable. Do not worry. It won't happen again. I am now holding the cable. So it won't happen. It won't repeat itself. Now, fuck. Well, as I was, before I started the topic itself, as I was trying to say, it feels weird a lot of times to find that the topics are related. And in this case, it feels even weirder because they literally, I talked about it before. I opened the book, I opened the page where I have topics to talk about to stream. I choose at random, at my best randomness possible, a topic to talk about. I put it in the list. I do it 4 times in a row, and I strike the ones that I already talked about, and that's it. So, I guess we got lucky with having such an structure, kind of from A to D, A B C D. No, from A to C topic it is today. Okay, there it is. I finished my water, so now we are this time for real, ready for the last topic. So let me write down the timestamp because we took a little diversion there. There it is now for real. Topic itself, sorry. It took me 3 minutes to come back to reality, so yes. Topic itself at hand, deepening by doing it. Preface of what we are going to talk about. In this case, it is kind of a tool that tries to focus on the idea of, more than anything else, understanding how you might find the things that you are already doing easier to do as long as you keep doing them. In a sense, it also has some different conditions, but they do not completely apply here. So yes, let me start the topic itself because this really doesn't have that much of a preface. Topic, depending by doing it. Sorry. The whole idea lies on the concept of you always need to keep doing what you want to do if you are interested in becoming better at it. I kind of talked about it before. The best approach that you can always take is to understand it from as much different points of view as you can. Because if you never do what you really are trying to get better at, be it directly or indirectly, you might as well never realize how much different ways it has the idea itself to be developed and how much different ways it has the whole concept, the possibility of being expanded on almost, or well, it isn't almost. As long as we are humans, we need to accept that every single concept is possibly capable of being as expanded as anything will get. Because we kind of talk about it, and in this case, it applies to the act of doing it. Everything is related. So, if you really want to get perfection, and if you really want to have an easier time, if you really want to get better at what you're doing, you need to find the whole correlations. You need to find the whole world that is enveloped in one single action, so to speak. The whole different routes that one single effort might take the form of, the single different seeds that one or many different impulses create, so to speak, in front of you, as long as you're working for it. It really is, in this case, important to do it. You never will have the possibility of finding an increase in your abilities if you're not doing it, so to speak. The only thing that kind of applies to this case as something that could contradict this idea is a misconception that lies on the obviously concept or falsehood of saying you also need to rest. And in a sense, resting, be it whatever you are doing, is also a part of the process itself. Because if you never, for example, learn how to rest your body after doing intensive workout, might as well also never develop to the best of your physical capabilities. If you really want to learn how to play chess and you do not learn also how to rest your mind after having long and long hours and sessions of deepening your already existing concepts, you might as well never in that same manner have the possibility of achieving your maximum potential. So it is more like a misconception, as I said before, that resting could not be useful, when in reality resting is the one of the few things that might never be slept on, so to speak. Resting holds by itself so many possibilities for you that, let's say like this, if you have never paid attention to it, you might as well try or put your best efforts into it right now. Because those who do not understand how important something is in the way of their actions might as well be not realizing them to the best of their capabilities. So yes, in this case, as I said before, resting is really important. And well, I only gave one particular example. Everything, it is kind of hard to give a real example when we are talking about every single thing that might really be connected and that might really be helpful to whatever you are trying to achieve. But the concept itself, as long as you're able to grasp it, you will find it to be true to a certain extent. Because also something that I think ends up falling in these categories is if you want to understand and to really have the possibility of saying that your efforts are worth of utilizing on anything, you also need, in this case, to learn what by itself is useful enough to learn and to perfect, aside from the craft itself that you are realizing. So yes, it is unavoidable to say it in this case. It is also another craft that begets on you so many rewards you might never realize how deep it is. But if, in the other hand, you see and you comprehend how incredibly great it is for you to have such a deep understand and to be, in a sense, a sea or not of knowledge on the things that you want to do because you keep doing them and because you keep perfectioning your art, your craft, your creation, whatever it is you are doing, you also will have one of the easiest times because, as always, this doesn't or is not reliant on the concept of, you know what, you just need to do it and nothing else. No, no, no. This lies on the idea of because you are doing it and because you're making your life easier, everything else will be easier. Everything else will also come at a lower price. Everything else will also have, so to speak, a sweeter fragrance. You will also have more possibilities of enjoying. You will also have more possibilities of being, so to speak, if you never consider yourself better. That is why, in this case, it is really important to understand it, that one of the best ways, or the real only practical way to deep your understandings about something is by doing. You cannot expect yourself to, out of nowhere, for the sake of the time passing and nothing else, you getting better at something. And final note, even sometimes the act of pondering what you are already doing on what you are trying to do is by itself one of the ways of doing it. A mental image is something that is sometimes really underestimated, but if you have the capabilities of doing that to us after a certain extent, you also have a possibility of keep doing what you are already are trying to do in an extended manner without even straining your body. So yes, keep thinking about it even if it is needed, but do not stop doing what is it that you want to do. So yes, and I think no questions so far. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I think there is nothing else on my side to add. So if we have any question, I might as well respond it. If we have no question, I might as well mark an X here and close this. Well, and let me see. Has the whole stream been wet? Did we? Okay, we didn't lose any frame. This is particularly amazing, I guess. Or at least I feel like that. So well, so far, Tornite. Out. Ah, sorry, I had a kind of a stroke. I don't know. I wasn't able to read Fortnite. What the fuck? I guess I'm kind of sleepy. Okay, there it is. Now, sorry for not responding in time. Yes, I guess it is beautiful to think about entertainment. At the end of the day, entertainment is the final objective of life, you know. So yes, Fortnite. Yeah. Wait, there was a song on English that was about, or not about, a kid that sang something related to Fortnite, or was it something else? I think it was not. It wasn't from the English community. I think it was from Spanish. I'm not so sure. But well, anyways, well, I that's it from my end. I guess sometimes I really get kind of bigot because I am mentally incapacitated after speaking almost for 2 hours. So yeah, let me write somebody and finish this whole talking so far. It was beautiful once again. Meanwhile, as always, thanks for being here, thanks for hearing, thanks for lurking, thanks for everything. It was, as always, a great experience to have. So yes, we shall depart, but it doesn't mean that we shall not see each other in any other moment. We are only enjoying the experience, and we now are only taking a rest to come back to the problems and to come back to the whole meditation stronger than ever. Because once again, we found our desires and our interest reignited. Well, no, yes. As always, thanks everybody for chatting. Thanks for those who lure, for those who really enjoy to watch the VODs, for those who Inco, for the gifted sub, for the reviews, for whatever. let me check. Thanks Runspun, thanks Kyondike, thanks Bunkum, thanks Ginkgo, thanks Pirate Ninja, the Tier, and I'm not forgetting about anything else. The bot and myself, obviously. And well, that's it for today. Well, no, fuck. There it is. Everything fine. We're riding somebody who's doing art. So yes. Now, as I was going to say, that is everything for today. We are going to ride our main Marcatoto, somebody who's doing art. Meanwhile, as this boy is playing some music, probably a format that you have already seen, but still enjoyable to watch. Do not worry, we shall see each other again. So wait, just in case, because I think I am committing an error by not doing it, because out of nowhere, responded, just in case, if you are interested, I have a Discord.